Cool.
What?
Welcome to the Faith, Home, Love podcast. I'm Terry Goodlad, joined by my wife, Anna Tigre, my beautiful wife. I always call her my beautiful wife.
You better.
I do that so she cooks for me. Actually, we had an awesome week. Our kids cooked for us this week.
That's right.
It was pretty cool. It was a little unnerving. They were fired up for like 3 days. They planned this, and then we let it happen. And you have to just go, okay, whatever it is, we're gonna just love it, no matter how bad it is, whatever it turns out like. But they
did really good.
They cleaned the whole house.
Yep.
They cleaned the whole entire house, and then they cooked. But
they wanted to do that for us. Like
it was eggs,
scrambled eggs,
and oatmeal,
tacos,
and tacos
with meatballs.
With meatballs,
but mashed like
yeah.
The meatballs were mashed because it was meatball. They were really good.
They
though.
actually were pretty good.
And chips, and then water with lemon. So, see.
We got spoiled.
No. And then they cleaned the whole kitchen. That's what they did for us. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That was a pretty cool gift.
We
And
cried.
it was their idea.
We cried that night.
Anna
We're
cried.
like,
I didn't cry. I was strong and just held her while she cried. Today, this is episode 6 already.
I know. And it's just starting to get.
We're just starting to get the hang of this.
Yes.
I think. Maybe.
No, maybe not.
We'll see. We'll see after
No, but
the show.
today's a special one because.
Today is a special one. The last episode, if you watched the 5th episode, we talked about something. And honestly, I really didn't feel comfortable talking about it because it's something.
Because it's about you.
Well, it's about me, and it's also
But it's
something.
not. It's about God and the miracle He did in your life. So, see? Not about you.
So anyway, I was still uncomfortable about it because we've talked about it many times, and I'm thinking, gosh, everybody's heard that story. It's going to be boring. But as it turns out, there were some people out there that, oddly enough, the world doesn't revolve around me and my stories. So there are people that hadn't heard it. And so anyway, they listened. And what it was is I was in congestive heart failure. I was given, maximum 15 years to live. And lots of complications, TIAs, was in the hospital, and the end was nigh. At one point I was told I could die in the next hour, but I'm not going to live longer than 6 months.
Yep.
And God healed me. Now, He healed me also because He talked to my wife and gave us a plan on what to move forward. Against the best wishes of my doctor, I didn't take any of the medication he gave me and decided I'm not gonna, because you get one and then you gotta, I'm not trying to turn anybody off of medications or doctors. I think doctors are wonderful and medication is great. But this was take this and then you need this to counteract the side effects of this and this, on and on. And so I was like, I'm not living like that. But we went home and we made some changes.
Yes.
And we talked about that just briefly. We kind of told the story, but really didn't dive into the changes that we made, the things that we did different. And this week, Anna got hit with a barrage of emails wanting to know more specifics.
And that's my favorite part because that really, we experienced the life-changing miracle that changing our lifestyle did to your health. And I believe 100% that God healed you. But sometimes we pray for miracles and it involves actions. God is ready to make a miracle in your life.
God will show us what to do.
And He will show us what to do. And also He's going to strengthen you when you're weak.
Yes.
And you don't want to follow through with those changes.
And that's the thing. I think a lot of people misunderstand God's miracles. If you pray for money, you don't wake up and there's a bag of money falls out of the sky.
Sometimes it does.
Well, it's never happened to me that way. Never been a bag of money, okay?
Oh, I have to change my
No,
prayers.
but I mean, it'll be a relationship. It'll be an opportunity. It'll be something that comes. And of course, everything our walk with God is always based on our free will. That's what sin is, and that's what repentance is. It's all about what we choose.
Choice.
We have that choice. We can choose good or evil. We can choose either. And so we had a choice. And so we were faced with some things that had to change. Anna sat for 4 days at my bedside in the hospital, and basically spent that time researching. She could have done anything else, but she spent the time researching, and she just followed because these things, if you've ever been on Google looking for something, the rabbit hole, right? And there's 50 million rabbit holes. Now, yes, she had time, but the thing of it is it's just an immense amount of information out there. But God just directed her path to the information we needed to find
Right.
The stuff that we needed. And then I think that was probably the easy part. The harder part was convincing me that I should do all this stuff.
Well, that was the miracle, as you stated last, because it took very little convincing. And I remember me saying, because, he said, I'm not taking any medication. I'm not going to go for a follow-up, forget this. And
My list of things I'm not going to do.
And I said, you know what? We were newlyweds. So that was 12 years ago. And I said to him, okay, this is not fair. So if you're not going to take any of the medication, follow what God has given me. And he did, and not just like.
And we'll talk about that, because that was one of the questions that
Right.
we got. So we picked 3 questions out of the many, because it was very common, and I think they're ones that really kind of will give everybody the best
start.
the start
Yeah.
on this thing,
Yeah.
right? And then after that, later on in this segment, we're actually going to go into the kitchen, just over there. We're just going to go into the kitchen, and Anna is going to make the green smoothie
And show you how easy it is.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
That's part of our daily life. It certainly has to be part of my daily life
Yeah.
anyway. So, but
I'm excited.
ready to
That's
dive
my
in?
favorite. Yeah, that's going to be my favorite part.
paper here with questions on it. Okay, Anna,
Yes.
key
Yes, dear.
points. The anti-inflammatory diet. What exactly does that mean, and what are anti-inflammatory foods? That was a really good question.
Sure.
One of your girls sent that to you.
Yeah, and it was involved a little bit more involved than that. But here's what I found out. I mean, you can easily Google anti-inflammatory foods,
Yeah.
and you're going to be like, okay, that's good information, but how do I apply that to my daily life? So let's go back a little bit. Inflammation is the root cause of all autoimmune disease. So, it can be heart condition, it can be diabetes, it can be basically autoimmune, anything the body is attacking itself. And healing has to start with your gut. Our healing starts with our gut. Now, we did it in a way where we basically went cold turkey, and we completely eliminated everything, and I put together
It's
a menu.
because Anna never goes into anything halfway. It's like a light switch.
That's
We're
true.
not doing it, and then we're really not doing it. Or we're doing it,
And then we're doing it.
and we're doing it. There's no
And-
gray area
No,
in
there's
Anna's world.
not really gray area in my
Yes.
world. So he did it with me, and I forced him. But here's the thing. We were told he was dying, so it's not like, oh, let's try. I don't like this. Like, no, you can't do that when you don't have that luxury. But
So you know how those first early conversations kind of went there.
But what I believe is that for most people, unless you are in that situation, that you've been given a week to live, to up to 6 months, no more, you don't have to do what we did. You can start with steps towards change. knowing what your goal is, but not go cold turkey because it's very hard. It is very, very hard. You have to be a person that is willing to commit 100%, sticking to it, and not allowing discomfort to stop you. And most of us don't.
That's kind of on that third question. Is a lot of this.
You'll get to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, what we started with was our anti-inflammatory juice. This juice is more like a smoothie. We call it a juice, but it's more like a smoothie.
And this from the man that's never eaten a vegetable. The last time I had vegetables, my grandmother was telling me I had to finish them on my plate or I wouldn't get dessert.
Right. So
I just never ate vegetables.
It had to. I'm like, okay, I see the list of things we should be consuming. This is absolutely impossible to consume that. You want to do it raw because you want to keep the nutrients. You obviously you want to do it organic, but we're going to sit there. I'm going to give Terry a pile of food this big. He's never going to eat it. And then for the next meal again and the next meal again, that's not going to work out. So let's go a different direction. And that's how we come up with this green smoothie. And it's something that, if you're going to take medicine, you are going to just take the medicine, right?
I just realized that you do the same thing with Cole.
Cole doesn't eat any vegetables.
Cole's 7.
And you're 60, almost 67.
Played the same trick on me as you do on him.
No, it works.
It did. I know it worked.
So
I'm living proof.
You're here for it, yeah.
She played me like a 7-year-old.
No. Anybody that has been diagnosed with a condition where they have to take medicine, they just have to take the medicine. Yeah. And so you just start there. Like you just drink this. Now, we make it taste good. It doesn't mean that you will taste the same as something else you like.
That was the thing. Now, when we first started, they didn't taste good. And then
we had a trial and error period.
And it was a process, but the thing of it is and some of the juices that I have, I love them. And other people will try them and go, oh, I don't like that. Right. Or I don't like beets.
Most people like it. Most people like it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So you can adjust it as you need to, right. But within the scope of those anti-inflammatory foods, right?
Because the tendency is for people to want to eat those juices with a lot of fruit. Well, fruit is very healthy. We eat fruit every day, but fruit carries a lot of sugar, just
like
natural
how they have
sugars.
Their coffee with a splash of coffee.
Right. So we're going to touch all that in the coming episodes because we're going in my experience coaching people that have made. I did that for a couple years after you heal and you had your healing. We shared, and I've coached many people for a couple of years through this process. And what I found out is that there was one individual that was able to do everything cold turkey like we did. There's a fly.
It's an organic fly.
Everybody else had to just take steps towards it week by week. As you add certain things to your diet, it will be easier to remove others. And one of the reasons why, and I tell my kids this all the time, is that the body is hungry for nutrients. If you give it empty calories, it will continue to be hungry for nutrients. And so craving sometimes it's just a lack of nutrients in your diet. I see it for myself when I go through periods that I'm not food prepping and I'm just grabbing stuff here and there. I end up consuming more calories, more empty calories than I do when I start the day with my juice. So if you start the day with your juice, first of all, it's going to help with your soothing of your stomach and the entire digestive tract. Second,
and the reason,
it's going to help
is
cleanse.
Yes.
Be prepared for that.
We'll stress that point again because it does have an impact on your social life.
Right. If you're at work, make sure.
But when you breakfast is because you fasted. You fasted throughout the night. So if you took your last meal at 6 or 7 the night before and it's 12 hours later.
Right.
When you put this on your stomach, there's really shouldn't be any undigested food there.
Right.
And so it has, it's not diluted by undigested food, and therefore it's really, really effective.
Absorb.
I've had my juices later in the day too, but I never, and maybe it's psychological, I don't think it is. I just never felt the same. I would actually get more bloated. And then when I have them in the morning, I don't.
Because it's fighting with other
It's
food
dealing
that is
with the other
already
food, it's
there.
competing with that,
right.
yeah.
So we love doing first thing in the morning. Probably an hour. Where is this fly coming from? An hour before
fan.
breakfast.
We have a fan.
And sometimes longer because it does keep you full. But that's the idea. You start your day with something that is very nourishing for your body. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to your next meal, first of all, you're going to be more prone to making better choices because you're already, it's kind of like, when you start your day with a workout, you are more prone to making better, healthier choices.
A lot of breakfast foods have a lot of sugar in them, right?
Oh my gosh,
like if it's jam or syrup or whatever it is, or brown sugar if you're having oatmeal, or honey, whatever it is.
Or even just
with
bread.
With this, now we do use some juice, and you'll go through that later.
Yeah.
But you don't get that sugar crash, so you don't get cravings. So you don't have things, you don't crave things for lunch that you might typically crave that are not good for you. You know what I mean?
So therefore there's like a natural, shift in how you feel. Therefore, it gives you the strength to pick better choices. And
speaking of a natural shift, when you first start doing this, if you're gonna introduce this into your diet, I would do it on a weekend when you don't have a lot of stuff planned, and find some good reading material for your restroom. Make sure you've got a good supply of paper because you'll probably be busy for a couple of days.
Well, it's kind of like a very gross, topic, but it's one that you have to address.
But it's a reality.
The reality is that we walk around with a lot of
feces
in our system, and it's not good, and it's toxic, and you shouldn't, and so that's why, this is another episode, but that's why fasting is now a hot topic, because emptying out our system is something that is very healthy. Well, this is a start. This is a start for everything to move.
And it levels out after a while, like your body
gets used to it.
Yeah, because you've got a big mess there to clean up, and that's what these ingredients do, is they work within your body to I'm really oversimplifying, but it cleans up a lot of stuff, right? And so your body wants to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I found. And so it's not unusual to lose a few pounds at the outset, and then it kind of levels out afterwards. I think the biggest thing that I noticed, and it was sort of a gradual thing, but my energy increased a lot.
Right.
Like a lot.
I remember that for me,
it was
day 7, and for you was 11. Because I hit it. One day I woke up, I'm like, Terry, I have all this energy. I don't know what to do with myself. And he's like, not me. I'm kind of struggling. And for you, what was the hardest part? Now I can ask you, what was the hardest part? Because we quit all sugar, all processed food. We did this thing called turkey. What was the hardest until you got that burst of energy?
Well, this is kind of that second question is, I think the hardest part wasn't drinking the juices. The juices were awesome. The change was, I always ate. I thought I was eating like an athlete, and so I was very proud of the fact that I wasn't controlled by food, and that I would just eat foods that were
carbs and proteins,
counting my macros. I want to gain 10 pounds. I want to lean out. I wanted this or that. I could do that with my diet, and so this is that bodybuilding mentality. The reality is that there were things that I would add, and like pretty much everybody else in the world, we eat for social reasons and we eat for comfort. It's got nothing to do with our caloric needs or our nutrient needs, and meeting those needs. This was meeting those needs, but I had cravings. I was raised on my grandmother's incredible baking, and that's my that's my comfort food is baking. And so that always involves lots of sugar and bread and stuff
Right.
like that. And so it was dropping some of those things. And I think for a time, I look back on it now, and we did a very drastic change, as Anna said. It was like a light switch. And so one day, I'm having a shot of bourbon before bed and ordering a pizza because that, fits my macros that day, and, doing whatever I want to do, eating out. We used to like to eat out lots, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm having salad in a cup and bone broth. Okay. I'm like, wow, this is the good life.
I'm going to stay alive for this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to live, but it's going to be like this. I don't know if I want to live. So anyway, we did the whole thing. And for the first little bit, like, it was hard sleeping at night because I used to have a big pile of carbs before bed so I could sleep. And there was lots of adjustments. So I was weak, tired, miserable. And while the juices they're not juices, they're smoothies, really.
Yeah.
They're because there's still all the fiber and stuff stays in. It's not like you're just juicing and throwing away the fiber. What the adjustment was, I think, is just not being able to just pick things that made me feel better whenever I felt like it. Because I used to always grab something, walk past, couldn't walk past anything.
So it was more to do with breaking habits.
It was just a habit.
Right.
It was just a habit, but I had made a decision, and we'll get into this more in the third question that we're going to cover. But it was just a decision about what I needed and wanted to do, and what was more important. And then realizing that I didn't have time, and realizing that if I wanted to live, if we wanted to have a family, if I, when I stopped thinking about myself, like, okay, yeah, I'm going to die because the doctor said I'm going to die. I'm fine with it, but I get to go home and be with the Lord.
Right.
Anna gets to sit here and suffer and try to make it through life without me, right? Which I thought would have been a tremendous, joyful thing for you. but that's just, no, like, because we all know I was a pain in the butt back then. I'm wonderful now. Back then, I was a little... You've
always been wonderful. You just gotten better.
I needed a little preaching up is what I needed. I needed a little time on my knees.
Well, don't we all?
Yeah. So anyway, I jest. But so the adjustment, I think, was just that. It's just the habitual... Every time I opened the fridge, I had to have something stuffed into my face, right?
And, I'm not going to lie. I went through the same thing. I eat very, very healthy, but there's certain things I like, and I don't like when they're taken away, right? We all do that. And I found, and that's what I want to share too in like coming episodes, if it's something that people are interested. But there's certain things that recipes I came up with. There's like, okay, it's not quite that, but it's a new habit, a new routine, and it kind of like gives me that comfort that something else did before. I also wanted to say this, we as professional athletes, former professional athletes, I think it's an easy on and off switch for us because, when I used to compete in bodybuilding, I used to just like, okay, tomorrow I start. And so you're used to psychologically, and that's why we did the cold turkey too, and it worked. But I think about, anybody else that maybe has never done that before. Mostly all of us have done it in an area of our lives. Like we all have to have discipline if we are going to be successful in anything that we do, discipline to get up in the morning and get ready to go to work and be there on time. So each person is going, if you look for it, it could be in school with your studies, it could be anything that you've done and accomplished. And I think that is something that we can lock into and say, you know what, I want to change my health and I want to try this, but give it a fair chance, not just like, I'll do it a couple times and I didn't feel anything,
Well, it's like anything. If you okay, if you want to save money and you've got $100, but you decide you're only going to save a nickel, well, after a year, you're just going to have a little stack of nickels. If you decide you want to save the whole $100, you're just going to have a whole lot more. And so it's whatever you put into it, it's what you get out. It's like that with everything.
That's true. And
so easing your way in, to me, was the way I think is that's just wasting time.
see, you're just like me.
I am now. I had to change.
No, it's okay to ease your way in, but you have to have deadlines. Okay, so for the first week, I'm adding the juices, and I'm just gonna kind of like manage the rest. Pick good, healthy choices the best I can. The second week, we're gonna give you guys more that you can do, but have a plan. Don't just go with the flow, and then because you know what. Every summer, this is our life, and we're pretty focused, but April 24th, it's my daughter's birthday, and then April 30th, it's mine, and my best friend is May 2nd, and then there's Mother's Day, and then there's Katie's birthday, and Memorial Day weekend, and you know what? I have an excuse to splurge every week. And, I have to eat cake because it's her birthday. And I have to, and pretty soon it's like, it's not that it's not, you're not allowed to ever eat anything again. But if you're not committed, you're not going to see your results.
No, and I go back on that point, just on that point. We talked about this before with things like Christmas and Thanksgiving and like that. We partake in all this stuff. We don't miss any of that stuff. We don't.
The one day.
Right.
But not the leftovers for a week.
You can still have portion control. You don't need to eat 5 plates or something. You can just have a regular portion that you would normally have, and eat the things that aren't going to bother you.
For me, it's a big thing. I love cake. I love birthday cake, and I found out that I can't bring it home. If there's leftover cake, I'll give it to somebody, because if I bring it home, I'm going to want to eat that cake until it's
No, it
there.
doesn't really disappear. You don't really see it going anywhere, but you'll wake up in the morning and go to the fridge, and all of a sudden half the cake's gone. And then probably the next day there's no cake left at all. Probably one gilt square, shoved way off in the corner, the little corner one with the icing on 2 sides.
See, I know my weaknesses.
3 sides.
And so I just don't have it around.
I don't know how that happens.
He does that with the ice cream.
I do that with ice cream.
Yeah. The kids already know. Dad.
So the secret is with the Bluebell thing, you eat around the edges because you can divot down there, but the middle is still high, so they still think it's full.
And you know what? It's terrible for your digestive system because it has all kinds of preservatives. We make our own ice cream now.
We digress.
Yes. Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
So we were talking about... we were talking. What the next point is what do we have to remove, and that all just depends on you. And so, if you have a family, it's really, really like for us. What we did is we did it together. We didn't have our kids then.
No.
And so it was very, very easy for us to do it together. Doing it as one person is extremely hard. It makes it much harder.
Much harder, but I'll say
because
this.
there's also a time component because you got to cook for everybody else and for.
And I'll say this. Every year in January we do Daniel Fast, or some kind of modification of that. Sometimes we make it harder, and of course we don't make our kids do it. They willingly sometimes they'll be like, I'll give up sugar or something like that. But they're growing kids; they're not going to do what we do.
Cole likes to give up vegetables.
Yeah, all day long.
All those unnecessary things.
But if we are together on this, I tell myself, this is the kids' food. If there's leftovers, it goes in the trash. I'm not gonna, because I did that long ago when they were toddlers, there's just a little.
Because when you put it in the fridge, it's just going to disappear.
No, if you're a mom, you see, there's just a few pieces, you don't want to throw it out, so you eat it. And so that's what I do. I'm like, their food is off limits.
I didn't know you were doing that.
Long ago. You're like, Anna, how come your jeans don't fit you?
Or they fit really well. Glasses half full or half empty,
Yeah,
Anna.
however you want to see, exactly. But definitely remove. So his thing is ice cream, my thing is cake. Don't have it around, you know. The kids don't need ice cream or cake on a daily basis. We have ice cream night every Saturday night.
We have ice cream night once a week, and that's when we take care of it. And that's kind of the treat night for the kids, and they've accepted that, and they actually like it now.
Yeah.
But our kids are athletes. They're in jiu-jitsu 5 days a week, and our kids don't have devices. Our kids don't sit in front of the TV.
They also have learning disabilities and all kinds of, diagnoses that have
those things
all but gone away.
All but gone away, yeah.
Since we changed, there's that too.
And so our kids are outside all the time. They're outside riding their bikes. They're playing football, playing soccer, playing hide and go seek.
Doing art.
Doing art projects, reading books. They're doing that kind of stuff. But we do see, and they see it. They recognize it. And actually, Quamain is the one that's like, no, I don't want to do that. Because he doesn't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
So he'll just, no thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
So everybody else is having ice cream. He doesn't want ice cream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. A lot of times.
Yeah.
And then some days he does.
Yeah, and some days he does. And so
and he's bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, all that stuff, I've had people comment, oh, they're kids, you got to, well, if they don't know about it, they don't know about whiskey,
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to introduce it to them and then, take it away,
Right.
Like, why do you need to introduce that stuff?
If you already did, it's okay too. You just taper it off and becomes, every other day.
You just limit it.
It.
Because that along with, every meal there's something there, fast food or it's, and there's nothing wrong with eating out, but if you're eating out every day,
yes,
it's
going to be
that might be problematic for you.
And it's no different kids and adults because
we sound really self-righteous.
We do. I used to always tell my clients, start with the calories that you're drinking and I was talking to my daughter, the oldest, the other day, and I was explaining to her, she asked me, can you make watermelon juice? And I was explaining to her that when you drink something, it doesn't make you feel satisfied, like full, and when you eat the watermelon, it's very different than when you drink it. And so we go places, we always drink water. Doesn't matter where we go. And we drink our
Everybody's got a water jug everywhere we go.
And at restaurants, it's very rare that, maybe a birthday party or something like that, they'll have a lemonade or a drink. But that is like a shot of sugar and empty calories. And it is the same with us. If you start with introducing the smoothies and taking out whatever you're drinking that has anything other than water and black coffee, and a lot of mail. I'm gonna get a lot of mail for that, but you are going to remove a huge part of the inflammatory foods that are on your diet.
Like I think researching what the inflammatory foods are, so I think that's an important thing.
Sugar, processed food,
those are the biggest ones.
Deep fried foods, meat that is not organic, grass fed, anything processed. So if it's not straight from, God didn't create it that way and man had to modify by adding chemicals, preservatives, whatever to it.
And probably the biggest one is sugar.
Always start with their sugar.
And now, yes, there's sugar in all kinds of things, but there's different kinds of sugar. I don't know if it's that's oversimplifying it, but
there's different sugar. Different sugars will affect your body differently.
Talking about things like soda, or energy drinks are probably one of the worst offenders. Anything that you're going to have sugar on, sugar donuts, anything that is obvious sugar, if you can get rid of that or reduce that drastically in your diet, that is going to make a massive difference.
Yes.
And because at the end of the day, this is something that you don't do for 6 or 8 weeks. This is something that you do for a lifetime.
Right.
And and it gives you longevity. You know, I'm 67, and
Yeah.
we did a Murph this week. I don't know
Right.
if you know what a Murph is.
Look it up.
But that's the thing.
On Memorial Day,
I'm in
Murph
better
workout.
shape with less injuries, less aches and pains, more energy now
Yeah.
at 67
Yeah.
than I ever was, even in my 20s. When I was a SWAT cop, I didn't
Right.
have the energy that I've got now.
Right.
And it's 100% what I eat. It's not because
Absolutely.
I'm more fit.
Right.
It's 100% what I eat.
And here's something I want to touch on. Everybody's going to tell you, that fruits and vegetables nowadays don't have the nutrients they used to have because the soil is different and blah, blah, blah. And that is definitely true. It is true. But before you focus on supplementation, you have to start with the basics. You have to start with the changes that will eventually get to a point and said, okay, I might need supplementation in this area or a different area. But if you're eating processed foods all day, you don't need supplementation. You need to start with the basics, right? Even though it doesn't have all the nutrients, it still has so much in there that your body needs and craves. And again, you go back to cravings. A lot of times is dehydration, not enough water, good water.
Drink lots of water.
Drink lots of water. I drink 3 liters a day. Like, how much do you drink?
Probably, it depends on days that I'm training or I'm outside sweating a lot. Like I was out at the range training a bunch of guys this week for about 3 hours. And
Show them your cup.
We were doing my drinking cup. So I'll do like 3 or 4 of these a day.
Yeah.
Now, I was out at the range running our guys through CQB training. CQB is close quarters battle. It's clearing rooms and stuff. It's active shooter training. So anyway, for our church. And so we're out there for a good 3 hours and we're moving the whole time, but you're out there in the sun and the humidity. And I got in the truck. Now I drank my water bottle, which is a little bit less than this. And I was still cramping. My legs and feet were cramping just from being out there that long. It's taken me 2 days to rehydrate.
Right.
So you don't just by having a glass of water, you're not rehydrated. And so just to stay ahead of it, especially in these summer months coming up, if you live in a place where it's cold, then in the wintertime, you've got almost zero humidity in your house because you've got forced air heating probably. And if you're someplace where it's really hot, then you're in an air-conditioned environment where you've got almost zero humidity because the air conditioning removes all the humidity out of the air. And then if you go outside, you're sweating. And so there's really no time of year when you can drink less water.
Right.
But drinking water and drinking water will drastically impact
your energy.
Your energy, but also your cravings.
Absolutely.
Because you'll be thirsty, but you think you're hungry.
Yeah.
And like that.
I always start, before I drink coffee, I always hydrate, especially because I love my coffee.
You need to write a book or something or a booklet or something. We need to. No, it's just there's so much information to pass on.
Yeah.
And so I think we want to move on to the last question because we've got to get into that kitchen and make that smoothie. So the last question was, how do I convince my husband to do this? He likes what he likes and doesn't want to change. So how did you do that, Anna? No, that was me, guys, all day long. And I'm going to talk to the husbands now. All day long, that was me. I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather, and they're, Prairie, Saskatchewan farmers from Canada. And they're old country. He was Norwegian, so they're old school people. They were born in the early 1900s. And that whole community, they're all blue collar, Eastern European. A lot of Eastern Europeans settled there. And that's what they did. And so it's just basic food, meat and potatoes and
Pastries.
Pastries, lots of pastries because you needed the calories.
Yeah.
Every meal had dessert. And of course, back then, you're trying to preserve things. So if you had blueberries, it wasn't blueberries. It was blueberries and half a jar of sugar. And, that's how they did. Everything was toast and jam. And so for me, again, we like to think that we're eating, even those that are concerned about their nutrition, still have a tendency to use food as something that brings them comfort. It might be memories that you had or what you identify with as a lifestyle. Like, okay, we live in the South now. We live in Florida, and we live in a particularly comfortingly so. I wouldn't call it a redneck area, but it's a redneck area. There's more. It's either it's pickup trucks from the Vero boys, or it's fancy cars from the New Yorkers that come down here because they don't want to be in New York. But that's kind of Vero Beach, and so it's not what kind of car do you drive, what kind of truck do you drive. That's that kind of place, and I love it. That's kind of
because you drive a truck.
Well, yeah, and I'm that guy, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about. I mean, these guys down here, it's nuts. Like everybody, like these guys barbecue, and it's like
incredible. Yeah.
No, it's like karate schools or something like that. Like, you know, this fierce rivalries and making chili and barbecue, and everybody's got a way to do it. And
not so much green smoothies.
Not a lot of green smoothie rivalries going on there. But you've got that, and so you identify with that.
Yeah.
And so the thing of it is I'm not saying you can't eat that meat. Just make sure it's a good source meat. We get ours from local farmers. Yeah, a butcher and local farmers.
Yeah.
And so we know how that animal's been raised and if they've been pumped full of drugs or not, and then what they're eating, and
then you choose your sides. And we gotta do a show.
Trust
on
me,
that.
we will. Because trust me, I eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I tried it. Anna's been a vegetarian. I tried it for about that long, and it was.
And now here's something else that we need to talk about at a different show, but cholesterol is not your enemy. Inflammation is.
Yeah, that is a whole other show.
Good source of fats, animal fats, everything we were told not to eat, like eggs and red meat, that come from an organic, healthy source.
We were fed that. I was fed that for generations.
Right.
The food pyramid and all that stuff.
But what I was going to say
there's so much new information out there that we can share about that.
It's what protects your brain.
Yeah.
From decaying.
There's
you need that.
So much we can say about that. That has to be another show.
I have to have self-control.
I know you do. So guys, what I'm going to say, going back to, how I did it, basically, and this is the touchy-feely side, is we wanted to have kids, and we were going to go through, we became foster parents, and we adopted from the foster system. I'm now 67. And I met this girl that loves me, and I love her. I was really enjoying life, and I decided that I wanted to live. I didn't want to buy into what this doctor had told me. And I realized that, okay, this is literally my life, because I could start this and still a week from now fall over dead. And so it's like, I'm not going to mess around. I'm just going to do it. And the thing of it is it's going to be uncomfortable. But and this was my choice, this was my thought process, is there's nothing in life that I have accomplished or that I have or that I've done or that I'm known for that involves comfort. Comfort doesn't give you anything. It gives you a moment of respite. It gives you an opportunity to rest and recover so you can go out there and slay. But the rest of the time when you're not recovering, you're out there slaying. And that's what men are built to do. That's the way God made us. We're warriors, and warriors not in the sense that we have to be fighting everybody, but it's more of an ethos. It's a thought process. It's like, okay, today I was doing some laundry and the washer broke. Okay, so we still have to do our podcast today, but I'm going to go fix that washer. That washer's not going to defeat me. I could call a guy, but do I want to depend on that guy? And so everything is like going out, and I'm training my guys on how to do CQB at the church just in case an active shooter comes. Well, what are the chances of that? Could be slim and none, but I'll tell you what, if they show up, they're going to run into a lot of trouble, because I had a dedicated group of men out there that are, some are around my age, some are a little bit younger, some are a lot younger, but these guys want to be fierce warriors. And so we were out there for 3 hours in the heat, and it was miserable. And we're working and we're shooting and we're working and we're shooting and struggling through things and figuring things out and like that. And we came away and everybody was so pumped,
Right.
because this is what men do. On Monday, it was Memorial Day. I work out with a bunch of cops over at a private property, and three of them are, I'm ex-SWAT, and 3 of them are active SWAT members. And these guys, they're going out on ops. They're going out every day, literally, probably, well, the one guy anyway is going out at least, probably a couple times a week at least, and doing operations that he could lose his life at any point in time. And so he goes out there and he puts everything, he leaves nothing. We left nothing behind. I'm so sore. Sitting here hurts right now. I'll confess that to you. And when I try to get out of this chair, I'm going to look like I'm 90 years old because I'm so sore. But we left nothing behind in that workout. And so when you live that way, what you gain from that, the payday, you have, pain is temporary, but the confidence you gain from it, the knowledge of what you're capable of doing. And the other thing is, from my faith, through those hardest things, when I think I can't do one more rep or I can't take one more step, my strength comes from God. And I pray. I start praying when I'm training, when it gets hard. And you know what? He gets me through it. It doesn't feel great, but it doesn't get easier, but I don't want it to be easy. Anything that's been easy that I've accomplished hasn't been worth having, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Meeting Anna, this is the most incredible human being I've ever known in my life, is this girl here. And just the work that I had to do on myself. I waited almost 5 years before I proposed to her because I wanted to be in a place where I would feel confident that I was bringing as much to her life as she was bringing to mine. And if we don't view life that way, I think it's just hard to look in the mirror and see. You can lie and pretend and you can do all that stuff. But at those quiet times, I can look in the mirror and I may not have the fullest bank account or the hottest new truck or whatever, or the coolest tattoos, but you know what? I can look at that mirror and I feel good. And when I talk to my Father in heaven, I feel good about the choices that I've made. I feel like I'm being a good son to him. And so at the end of the day, I think reaching inside of yourself and finding out what is really, truly important to you. And if you are a believer, turn to God and he'll guide you and he'll give you the strength to get through it. It's not hard to get through it. The hard part is sometimes feeling like you're worth it. And so it's easy to blow it off and pretend we're tough guys. But if you're really a tough guy, then you can do this. It's just like that. So you know what, guys? Put on your big boy shorts and just lock down and do this for your family. Do this for yourself. Do it for God. Do it for your community. You don't know who you're changing out there. I started training here a little bit ago because I'd been off for 3 months with an injury and like that, and started training. And all of a sudden, I've got a bunch of my friends are starting to train again, just because now I've said nothing to anybody. It's just they see it and they know the difference and they know I'm working out, and all of a sudden they're motivated. You could be changing family members, friends that you love. Right. I don't know how many guys this year, how many guys have we buried this year? Friends of mine that are around my age that are falling over dead.
Too many.
And maybe this could have helped them, Right. And so that's what drove me to do this.
And the reality is just, again, it's not just to stay alive, but to have quality of life.
Yeah.
I see so many people saying, oh, I'm old, I'm getting old. And honestly, a little while ago when I fell off the anti-inflammatory diet and the working out, and I did it for a few months, I know what they mean, because you start feeling so, everything hurts, you have no energy, you're depressed, and if that's all you think that's what life, all that it can be. And maybe you're not in our situation, we have little kids to keep up with, but maybe you have grandkids. And you can just, either watch them or you can be a part of their activities without pain, without depression, because the foods that we consume and everything we put in, that's going to be a huge factor on how we feel. And so, not just staying alive.
Think of the fuel. What kind of junk would you throw in your gas tank?
Right.
Or would you want fuel that your car can run efficiently on and get you where you need to go? And why would our bodies be any different, And so that's just
we
it.
start with the juice.
Yeah, we're going to start with the juice. So today's show, by the way, is brought to you by faithhomelove.com. faithhomelove.com. This shirt that Anna's wearing, the Faith shirt, that's one of them. This handy dandy snappy coffee
You know
mug.
what? This cup,
Read what it says in the back.
it shows. No, I'm going to tell you something funny about this cup.
No.
Yes.
No.
This cup shows yellow on some screens.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's peach colored.
It's like a light peach color. So I don't know how it shows right now in the video. I know in some screens it shows yellow, but it's not. It's like this beautiful.
And it says, pray boldly. Here, I'll read the back. You don't want to put your glasses on, that's all. So let us come boldly to the very throne of God and stay there to receive his mercy and to find grace to help us in our times of need. Hebrews 4:16. So that's the cup.
We're praying some bold prayers this week.
faithhomelove.com. Anyway, we're going to just take a short break. So all you'll see is just a transition, a very smooth transition. And Anna will be in the kitchen and she's going to
show you how easy it is.
Build a juice for you. Build a smoothie.
Come with
So if you haven't, we should probably say this now.
What?
If you have any questions at all, if you're watching this on YouTube, make comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then we can get back to you. And if you got any suggestions or stuff more you'd like to see, I think Anna needs to consider, I'm calling her out now, I think you need to consider doing like a booklet with some recipes and some concepts and stuff like that.
If that's what you guys want, I'll
If
do that.
that works for you, let us know and we'll get on it. I'll make sure she gets on it. We'll be right back.
Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making my kids' favorite green smoothie. And we call it green smoothie, but they turn out in all kinds of colors. Actually, we always play a game to see what color this one is going to be, which it's really fun when you have a bunch of kids. But I figured that if the kids like it, it's more likely that you will like it too. Even though if it's your first time, drinking green smoothies, you might like it too. Everything here is organic and it has been washed. It has been soaked in water with vinegar and baking soda. Vinegar and baking soda will remove anything, or at least most of what we can't remove. Even though produce is organic, I highly recommend you soaking it. And another thing is, keep in mind that this is God's medicine. So it might have some interaction with a prescription drug. If you are on blood thinners or any prescription drugs, just look it up to be safe before you throw all in your blender. Just look it up and see if there's any interactions with your prescriptions. This is an important step. So let's start. I have ginger, a piece of ginger that has been not peeled but washed. I have beets that are not peeled, they're just cut up. I have cucumbers that are peeled and cut up. I have carrots cut up. I have spinach, parsley, and cilantro. I have celery root, mango, and blueberry. And I'm going to start throwing the roots first because they are, now, you guys, we love ginger. Please, 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 if you're not used to eating ginger, do not start with a piece like this. I think when we first started, we used a piece that was the size of my thumb, and that's okay. It will work. We love the flavor, so we throw in a big chunk. And then beets, they have nitrates that turn into nitric oxide in the body, and it's incredible for heart health. I love beets. I always try to use it in my smoothies. My husband used to hate them. Now he loves them. The kids don't even know it's there. Some cucumber, also anti-inflammatory, some carrots. See, it's filling up. Spinach. Just push it down. And then parsley and cilantro. Oh my gosh, these are so good, especially to balance your blood sugar. And cilantro also is a good binder to release heavy metals from the body. I love the frozen fruit. I buy it organic, please. And it just gives it a great texture to the smoothie. Okay. We always use turmeric root. Sometimes it's not in season and it's very hard to find. It's also hard to find in certain parts of the country. So what we're using is turmeric tincture. We need to do an episode on how to make tinctures because we had friends that taught us. We bought this from them. But tinctures are amazing and you can do so many different ones for so many different things. Turmeric or also curcumin, which is the component in it that is anti-inflammatory, and it is essential for inflammation. But here's the thing, it does not work. The body cannot absorb it if you don't add some black pepper to it. Don't worry, it's not spicy. It will not burn you. And then what you need after that is a liquid. Now, you can just add water. And you know what? If you can drink this with just water, do it. Highly recommend it. But nobody in my house will drink it with water. And so I buy organic cold pressed juices to use as liquids. And sometimes I water it down and sometimes I don't. Now, we don't have diabetes in this family. If you have diabetes, sugar is a concern, just put in the comments and I can show a version of the smoothie that will work best for you. But if you are a person trying to get healthy and you don't have diabetes, this will work because all the fiber in the smoothie will slow down the absorption of the sugar. Therefore, you are not going to get that sugar high and then crash. So I hope that makes sense. And now the last thing is this. We use a Vitamix for this. And the reason why is because it really liquefies an avocado pit. And we try it and it does work, which by the way, sometimes I will throw an avocado in there as well. I got to do variations for you guys, but if you have something different, can you use it? I get that question a lot. Yes, you can use it, but expect it to be more fibrous, expect it to do a little chewing because it is a whole lot of fiber in here. So we bought this 12 years ago, still going strong. I highly recommend it. Let's see. When we first started on this diet, Terry used to drink 3 or 4 of these a day. and we will talk about the whole diet. But so we will do with different variations, with different things in it. But it is so good. It is so good. And it's life-changing.
Okay, his juice looks great.
I've been
Cheers.
drinking mine.
You have been drinking yours. I see that. That one's good.
It's
These
so
are
good.
metal straws, and we got them because we got them. If you find them anywhere and they're not pink, let me know where you got them from, please.
We got them because we avoid plastic.
Yeah.
And we also got them because they're really big. And then, all the fiber can get through it. But this is really, really good. Also, because it's so fibrous, if you let it sit, yeah.
I don't know if you can see it there, but see the separation? So this fiber stuff floats to the top. So you just mix it up really, really good. If it sits for a minute, and there you go. And drink it that way. Now, another thing we should tell you in passing, but the beets are very red. There's red, beets are red. And so what goes into your body is going to come out of your body. And when it comes out of your body, it's going to be very red.
Looks like blood.
It looks
Don't be
a lot
alarmed.
like blood. Don't be alarmed unless you have, an actual issue with that. But it kind of freaks you out the first time you see it, but then you understand what it is and it's okay. It goes away.
We want to know if you want to know more, if you want to see video recipes, if you need a cookbook, we want to answer all your questions. Subscribe, share with anybody you think needs a change in lifestyle. God did this for us so we could share our testimony and help others.
It's our responsibility as Christians, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's amazing. So
in a few days, I'll have my 67th birthday. I was supposed to be dead 10 years ago. So if we can give that blessing to you, if we can pass that on, we really want to do that. That's what's in our heart. So God bless. And again, like Anna said, please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and make some comments there. If you got any questions, please. Yeah, make some comments and we'll get back to you right away. And thank you very much for watching. We'll be back in a week with another episode.